Shall we begin with the grisly details of the injury situation? How's Doug Tharm?
Yeah, he's recovering. Obviously, too soon to say when he'll be back available, but I think he's got some sleep, and he's just got a bit of an headache now, so we'll have to just monitor him.
There are protocols with concussion anyway, aren't there? So I guess
we don't know whether he actually has got concussion, so we'll monitor him over the next couple of days.
Ryan Astley with his ankle was another new one from Saturday. What's the severity of that one?
As they're all in now, being monitored, so we'll probably get a better idea of availability, possibly by the end of the morning. There's a queue that's very, very long.
Yeah, I can imagine the physios are busy.
Yes.
Is there any likelihood of anybody coming back? I know you've talked, weeks or a week rather than months. All likely going to be too soon for Port Vale?
Possibly. You never know. As I said, we'll do a roll count, and we'll see what we can get together through training.
How late can you leave it with stuff like that to kind of give players the opportunity to be declared fit?
Well, you like to practice what you're going to do. I think everybody could see, and you more than anybody, how down I was after the game on Saturday, because you're worried that you're not going to be able to field the team, or field the defence. But a couple of days and you get to spring back in your step, and there's no point approaching this game in a downbeat manner. You've got to be upbeat. We're doing a wonderful job that we all love, that plenty would want to take your place, both as a manager, as a coach, as a footballer. That's not both, is it? That's more than both. As a footballer, so it's a great industry to be involved. Sometimes you can get you down, but then you realise how fortunate you are, and we've got 20 games to go, as we spoke about, and we're going to stick our chests out, and we're going to fight every inch of the way. We let ourselves down Saturday. I take some of the blame for the tactics I played. The players will have to take their share of the blame for how they implemented them tactics. And between us, we'll get it right. I know we'll get it right. We've got to work hard, and I'm not scared of hard work, and I know a lot of them players in there aren't scared of hard work. So the good thing about football is you can draw a line under it and you can go again, and there's still plenty of games to go again in. And I love every time I'm involved in a football match. I feel blessed to be able to do that. So I'm really looking forward to tomorrow.
Sometimes can circumstances dictate, can lack of numbers in an area, for example, mean that you'll do something different, mean that you might be forced into a change of system or shape or whatever it may be? Possibly,
and sometimes in times of adversity, people come to the fore, or certain elements of people come to the fore. I look back at the game on Saturday, and I look back at my interview afterwards, and I am very down, and I can be down at the best of times, I know that. But, the one thing that didn't get mentioned on Saturday was the absolutely appalling decision we got against us. That would have changed the whole complex of the game. Now, we were awful on Saturday, and Lincoln thoroughly deserved to win. But every one of the Lincoln coaching staff, the majority of the players, all concurred it was a stonewall penalty on Sean McConville, and he gives a foul against them. I speak to the head of the referees, he agrees with us, he can't understand the logic behind not giving the penalty. And there's no guarantee that you're going to score that penalty, by the way, but that's a marvellous opportunity. Tommy's been quite clinical with his pens. That's a marvellous opportunity to go 1-0 up. In a game that you're not playing well, you get the shot of adrenaline that we desperately needed on Saturday. That's been overlooked. Nobody's mentioned it. It doesn't get shown on the TV. And that's a crucial factor. And when things aren't going well for you, things like that do get overlooked. Now, what we've not got to do is use that as the excuse for why we've lost. But it's a very, very big contributing factor. What we've got to do is concentrate on what then led to our demise, and that was sloppy play all over the park, bad positioning, possibly bad tactics by myself. So there's a lot of combinations that go in, but you know, you look at the sending off again. Doug's getting back, so you're going down to 10 when you shouldn't be going down to 10. He's not clean through on goal. Doug's ahead of him when he gets fouled. When it rains, it pours. So we've got to hope that when it goes right for us, it goes right in abundance, and hopefully that'll be tomorrow.
There's been, understandably, talk about defending and defenders because that's where you're very light at the moment and you've conceded a lot more goals than you would have wanted to. Is the other end of the pitch a worry? I think of 26 league games, you've not scored in 10 of them. Which
it is a worry. And, you know, we didn't make anywhere near, like, we normally make lots of chances, so it's when you don't make the chances. I mean, we made a gilt-edged opportunity and Doug's miskicked it. And then apart from the penalty and a cross by Rozier, we didn't really trouble their goal, and that was the worry. I can honestly say it's been a long time since we've played that badly, certainly at home. And I didn't see it coming. And maybe I should have saw it come. So maybe it's my fault for maybe being a bit too bullish. Being a bit too bullish in my selections. And you know, maybe playing that extra forward at the expense of a midfielder. Maybe that's cost us. You'll never ever know because you can't play the game again. But it gives you food for thought. But I've still got faith in the players. I still know that they'll work hard. We didn't on Saturday. That let us down badly. I don't know why. Just certain games like that happen in football, and it's how quickly you can draw the line over it, move on and improve, and that's what we're going to try and do on tomorrow.
You talk about moving on. How easy or difficult is it to strike that right balance between you need to be able to not concede goals, but you also, as you said, then need to create chances?
I just think that they go hand in hand. If you can tighten up, all of a sudden it gives the forwards a little bit more confidence. And then if the forwards are getting chances and scoring, it gives the defence more confidence. It gives them something to hold on to. So, you know, it's not really a chicken or egg situation. We've got to get them both right, and we've got to get them both right in equal measures. And we've got to find that balance in being able to attack and defend and mix our game up a bit. You know, if we're going to go long, we've got to go long with a purpose. And if we have the opportunity to get the ball down and play, we've got to do that. We can't be in between, which I think quite a few times this season we've got caught between two stools of not knowing quite when to play and quite when to empty our defence.
You've obviously gone to Port Vale. You'll have done your homework, you'll be preparing for the way that they play and the things that they do, and perhaps expecting a reaction from them after their result of the weekend. Fundamentally, though, is it down to what you do and don't do?
I think so. I think we've got to get it right ourselves. We can't worry about what the other team do. We'll present our lads with an idea of how they'll play, things to be aware of. But I think when it boils down to it, we've got to get our own house in order. And that means playing with an intensity that I know we can play, like making chances, stopping them the other end of the pitch, sticking our chests out and being bold and representing this club and being proud to represent this club, and for the travelling fans who come, give them something to cheer about.
I know your policy on games in hand is they're only any good if you win them. This is one of them. I think the math says if you win by more than one goal, you'll go out of the relegation zone. Wins, though, you can't take for granted, can you? I think it's 2 from 15 league games.
No, yeah. When you're down the bottom, games in hand can sometimes only hamper your goal difference. We're just going to take every game as they come. Saturday will be a tough game, but all we're thinking about is Tuesday. So Tuesday's our priority, and if we can start getting our own house in order, you haven't got to worry about what's going on around you, and you haven't got to worry about your games in hand if you start winning games. So that's all I've got to focus on.
Can you get out of the habit of winning?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I think you can get in. You can get out of the habit of winning, and you can get into the habit of winning, and you find out that you win games that you shouldn't win because you're used to winning. and you're used to finding a way. And I think, you know, when we went on that unbelievable run when we won the league, we didn't think twice about the game. We knew that we were going to find a way. And once we took the lead, we knew we were going to hold on to that lead. So that's something to aim, to strive to get back to that.
Is it more difficult to get out of the other side of that, where you're perhaps going into games and fearing the worst?
I think so, yeah. But you've got to try. You know, you just don't say, oh, we're going to get beat. Otherwise, you may as well not turn up. You've got a duty to perform, first and foremost for the fans, for each other as well, and the families. But they're getting paid to do a job. And you've got to do that job. We've all got to do that job. But we've got to embrace it, we've got to enjoy it. Why wouldn't you enjoy it? You know, it's a sunny day. You're going to be running around in the fresh air. Is that too much of a task? There's people who are doing far more difficult jobs than them. It is hard work being a footballer because you've always got to be at your best, and it's a situation where if we're doing our job, we're always looking to the players who are trying to earn a new contract. So you don't get many industries where you're always looking to get better. You're always looking to get better people in. And them people who you're looking to replace are also looking to get better. And they're also looking to get better jobs. So it's a bit of it's a strange industry. But, you know, you'd enjoy it. Most people who come into football must do it because they love it. I know I do. And it was my dream to be involved in professional football. I am now. I don't ever take it for granted. I know Jimmy doesn't the same. And you're going to have challenges. You're going to have ups and downs. You know, by the nature of the league that we're in, we're going to have more downs than ups because there's going to be a lot more teams got better resources than ourselves. And we've just got to keep fighting. And that's what we will do.
Is the free agent market a conceivable route you can go down?
Possibly, but, you know, when we get our players back from injury, which I'm hoping we do, we should have enough to be able to go.
And just finally, what would you give for a clean sheet? I think 5 of your 6 league wins have been with a clean sheet.
Yeah, you know, it does make a difference. I'd like to take the lead. That'll be a big start, big step in the right direction, so we'll see.